Hello everyone, this is Healthy Options with Maureen. Today we'll be making one of my favorite soup from Igbo land back home in Nigeria, and it's the Onugbu soup. Someone actually requested this video to be made, so I'm making it on behalf of everyone that is interested. It's a little bit time consuming, but there are little cuts that I introduced in this video, and I know it will be helpful. Come with me as we make this. I know for sure you will like it. Thank you. So for our Onugbu soup, these are the ingredients we'll be starting with. These ones may take a little bit of prepping, so I will start with these ingredients and I'll introduce the others to you as we go on. Some meat, some onugbu, also known as bitter leaf. We need some ede, we call this cocoyam as well. It's a special species used for thickening soups in Igbo land. We need, of course, some dry fish, and we do need some stockfish. I'm using the head of the stockfish in this case, and I will show you how we prep that. So first things first, we'll be cleaning and softening our stockfish, and I have a pot of hot water here. I'll be dipping my stockfish into the hot water. I'll be adding on a little bit of salt. I will let it rest here for about 10 minutes, and I'll wash and break it up, then we'll proceed with our cooking. I'll also be adding on the dry fish as well, because sometimes it tends to be sandy, so I like to add it on. This won't be resting for as long as the stockfish. Just a couple of minutes is fine for this. Then I'll bring the dry fish out, I'll wash them up, then we'll proceed with the cooking as I said. So I just started rinsing off my stockfish. As you can see, you just wash with your hands. Once you've dipped it in hot water, the heat tends to take care of most of the job. So whatever you have left is just something very little. Just let the cold water run through it and get out whatsoever that may be sticking in it that is not right. And I'll be placing this in a new bowl, then we'll proceed from here. So now, like I said, we'll be introducing the ingredients as we go by. Now we have to start boiling our meat. The meat also will be boiling with the stockfish. So into the pot containing the meat goes the salt. And I'll be adding on some pepper, some dry pepper. I prefer to use dry pepper for Onugbu soup. For the authentic Onugbu soup, the best thing to use is your dry pepper or your chili powder. Then we'll be topping this with some water. Then last but not the least, the stockfish goes in as well. So I'm going to be placing this on heat now, and I will stir as it begins to boil and as the stockfish begins to soften, so the ingredients will begin to mingle in. I'll place this on heat right now, we'll cover it up, then we'll come back and show you the other ingredients we use for this soup, and I'll also show you how we prep the ede or cocoyam. So after about 30 minutes, I added on more water so that the meat can cook through. As you can notice, we have some shaki in here, so I'm looking for it to tenderize. I'm also looking for the stock to be reduced, so I'll keep cooking this until the meat tenderizes and until the stock reduces, then we will continue cooking. I've actually prepared the ede before now, and I'll show you how you know it's cooked like I did in the last video with your oha soup. You just press a knife through it, and if it gives no resistance, just the way you will cook a potato or a yam, and by the time you press through it, it gives no resistance, you will know it's cooked. So that's what our cocoyam looks like in the interior, and I'll show you how we deal with this. So it's very easy to peel the ede. You just peel off as easily as this, and you place in a new bowl, or in a clean bowl rather. So that's just how it goes. Very quick. Usually we'll boil the ede with the skin on, that's the cocoyam, because it's easier to get the skin off once it's cooked. So we just wash the cocoyam, then add on a lot of water to top it up, just the way you deal with your yams. Then you cover it up, and you know it's cooked once you don't have any resistance by the time you pierce through it. So I'm just going to continue peeling off the ede or the cocoyam. Then by the time I'm done, I will come back and show you what next to do with this. So after peeling the ede, we cut it into chunks. We are cutting it into chunks because we want the blending to be easy by the time we go ahead and blend. I'm just going to go ahead and finish with this, and once I'm done I will show you how we blend this before we proceed cooking. So we have our blender, and like I said, I like to add on a lot of water before I start blending, and then the other goes in bit by bit so we don't make a huge splash. You can see the level of the water compared to the other. That's very important. We need a lot of water, and that's why I'm reducing my meat stock, so that by the time I add on water in the soup, we won't have too much fluid in the soup. So I'm going to cover this now, and I'm going to commence blending. So we just finished blending our ede or our cocoyam, and I'll bring it down now to show you what the texture looks like. You can see how smooth and silky it is, and this will actually help you cook quicker, because aside from the fact that you have to waste time to pound while using your mortar and pestle, you also find out that it's easier for the ede to just quickly dissipate in your soup once you pour it in. So it makes cooking quicker and you save time. So I'll be introducing the other ingredients, then we'll proceed cooking. Here we have all the other ingredients that hasn't gone into the pot prior to the cooking of the meat, and I'll be introducing some of them even though I've introduced them earlier. Now we have the ede or the cocoyam paste that has already been ground. We have some ground crayfish, palm oil or red oil, the onugbu itself, also known as bitter leaf. We introduced this earlier. We have the dry fish that has been washed. We also introduced this earlier prior to washing. We have the ogiri. We have some red chili powder. We have the salt, of course, for seasoning. Now what I usually do is I like to scoop on a bit of the ede paste in an empty plate so I can dissolve my ogiri in it. So we have the ede there, and I'm going to be adding on the ogiri. So it goes in. I'm going to use my spoon to smoosh it down. Most times the ogiri will dissolve on its own, but I like to help it out by adding on a bit of the ede paste to it to hasten things up. I'll just continue now with the soup preparation. The first thing that will be going in will be your ede. So we are heading for the pot now. So you can see how the stock has greatly reduced for our meat, and that's what we are looking for. We don't want to add on the ede then find out that we have too much fluid. I'd rather add on the ede than add on more fluid after I've added the ede. So like I said, our ede goes in at this point, and then once the ede goes in, I can now add on the water, then give it a good stir. Ogiri goes in as well. That's the ogiri and ede paste that I mixed up a while earlier. Now I'll be adding on the water that I rinsed out from the plate, and I'm going to give this a good stir. And the next thing that will be going in will be our red oil. The red oil goes in. So we are going to cover this up now and let it boil, and I'll come back and show you what it looks like. It begins to transform as it boils. So I'll come back and show you what it looks like once it starts boiling, and the stage in which we need to start adding on the other ingredients. So as you can notice, after about 5 to 10 minutes, our soup has transformed. That's what it looks like now, and that's exactly what you're looking for when making your onugbu soup. So right now we're adding on the other ingredients. I'll be adding on some chili pepper, like I said. Depending on your taste, you can either add more or you can add less. The crayfish goes in as well. And the last but not the least, our dry fish goes in. Like I always say, I don't bother adding on stock cubes when I cook. I just use natural flavor enhancers like the ogiri, the crayfish and the stock fish, and of course the dry fish. Just these simple things are enough to actually make your soup taste great. So the last thing that goes in will be the salt. The salt goes in. I'll stir, and then I'll cover this. I'll let this cook for a couple more minutes before I add on our onugbu leaves. So after about 5 minutes of adding on your pepper, the crayfish and the salt, and of course your dry fish as well, the last thing now to add in will be your onugbu. That's the bitter leaf itself. Remember, for the bitter leaf, when you get it from the market at this stage, you still have to wash to get rid of the bitter taste completely. It takes a little bit of time, but it's totally worth it by the time your soup is done. So I'll be adding on our onugbu now. This is the final stage of the soup. I'm going to cover this up and I'll let the vegetable cook through. Then I'll come back and show you how I serve this. Okay. So I just turned off the heat from the soup now, and that's what it looks like. So I'll be serving this now, and I will show you what I usually like to have my onugbu soup with. So this is how I usually like to serve my onugbu soup, with some oat fufu. You can serve it with whatsoever you want. Some apple, poundotu will work well, that's pounded yam. Whatsoever works for you will go well with this bitter leaf soup or onugbu soup. I hope you give this recipe a go and let us know what your take is on it. Please, if you've not subscribed, don't forget to do so by hitting on the red button. Thank you.